In the brutal world of boxing, where flamboyance often overshadows skill, Dmitry Bivol has quietly carved out a legacy of dominance. Unlike many of his contemporaries, he does not thrive on trash talk, flashy lifestyles, or social media theatrics. Instead, his weapon of choice is precision. Every jab like a metronome, every counterpunch a statement of cold calculation. As of now, Bivol's success in the ring has translated into immense wealth. Estimates place his net worth around $20 million, a fortune built on fight purses, title defenses, and endorsements. The victory that catapulted him into mainstream recognition, his stunning upset of Canelo Alvarez in 2022, not only solidified him as an elite fighter, but also boosted his marketability worldwide. His later conquest of Artur Beterbiev to become undisputed light heavyweight champion only added to his financial and sporting clout. Yet, what makes Bivol fascinating is that despite this wealth, he has remained grounded, private, and almost understated. His life story is not just about championships and millions, but about resilience, sacrifice, and cultural pride. Early life. Dmitry Yuryevich Bivol was born on December 18, 1990, in the small town of Tokmak, Kyrgyzstan, during the final years of the Soviet Union. His childhood carried the echoes of multiple cultures. His father, Yuri, is Moldovan, while his mother, Yelena, is of Korean descent but raised in Kazakhstan. This multicultural heritage shaped Bivol's identity in ways few outsiders fully grasp. From his father's side, he inherited a stern discipline, and from his mother's lineage, a quiet resilience. His parents were not wealthy, far from it. They worked as farmers, and life in Kyrgyzstan was modest, even austere. When Dmitry was just 6 years old, he discovered martial arts through wushu, a Chinese combat sport. His parents encouraged it, hoping it would keep him focused and out of trouble. But soon boxing found him. Coaches quickly noticed his size and natural reflexes. The boy was bigger than his peers, stronger, and surprisingly patient, rare traits for a child. At age 11, the family uprooted their lives and moved to St. Petersburg, Russia. For young Dmitry, it was both a blessing and a challenge. On the one hand, Russia offered better opportunities for education and boxing training. On the other hand, the family's living conditions were humble. Yuri worked as a bus driver, while the family lived in shared housing. Dmitry and his two sisters, Alessia and Veronica, learned early that nothing would be handed to them. It was in St. Petersburg that Bivol's formal boxing journey truly began. He trained at the Palace of Pioneers under coach Vyacheslav Sharapov and later Nikolai Isev, who molded his style into one defined by clean technique, footwork, and composure. Unlike other aggressive fighters, Bivol became a master of hit without being hit, adopting a cerebral approach that would later earn him the nickname the Silent Assassin. His academic life was equally disciplined. Bivol pursued sports education at the Lesgaft National State University of Physical Education, Sport and Health, one of Russia's most prestigious institutions for athletes. Later, he also studied law at Kuban State Agrarian University, reflecting his interest in a balanced life beyond the ring. Personal life. For all his fame, Dmitry Bivol remains one of the most private champions in boxing. Unlike other fighters who showcase their personal lives on social media, Bivol prefers to let his fists tell his story. There is no public record of him being married or having a husband. In fact, Bivol has never publicly discussed his romantic relationships. Whether he has children is also unknown. He has kept this side of his life away from media glare. Religiously, Bivol has never made definitive statements. He does not drape himself in religious symbols before fights or speak openly about faith. What he does embody, however, is a quiet spirituality rooted in humility and discipline. Outside of boxing, he has collaborated with sports brands like Boxraw and participated in community events in Russia and California, where he often trains. Still, endorsements and media appearances take a back seat to his devotion to boxing. In many ways, this mystery enhances his aura. In a sport dominated by personalities larger than life, Bivol's silence speaks volumes. Professional career. Amateur dominance. Before turning pro, Dmitry Bivol compiled a staggering amateur record of 268 wins and only 15 losses. His resume sparkled with achievements: 2 junior world championships, a bronze medal at the 2008 IB Youth World Championships, and Russian national titles in 2012 and 2014. These accolades proved he was not just another hopeful, but a talent destined for greatness. Rise in the pros. Bivol turned professional in November 2014, and he did so with a bang: 6 consecutive knockout victories. His style was sharp and surgical, blending timing, accuracy, and defense. In 2016, he claimed the WBA interim light heavyweight title by defeating Felix Valera, quickly becoming a name to watch. Over the next few years, Bivol defended his belt against the likes of Robert Barrage, Samuel Clarkson, and Sullivan Barrera. Unlike knockout artists, Bivol's victories came through control, strategy, and dominance. Fans and critics admired how he neutralized opponents with calm precision. Canelo Alvarez fight, the turning point. On May 7, 2022, the boxing world shifted. Bivol faced Saul Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican superstar considered nearly unbeatable at the time. Few gave Bivol a chance. Bookmakers, pundits, and fans saw him as a stepping stone for Canelo's legacy. But Bivol was unfazed. Across 12 rounds, he delivered a masterclass: stiff jabs, slick defense, and an unbreakable rhythm that frustrated Canelo at every turn. When the final bell rang, the decision was unanimous. Bivol had defeated the face of boxing. It wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. The world now knew who Dmitry Bivol was. The rivalry with Artur Beterbiev. If the Canelo fight made him famous, the rivalry with Artur Beterbiev cemented his place in history. In October 2024, Bivol faced Beterbiev in a monumental clash. Beterbiev, with his ferocious knockout power, was undefeated and terrifying. The fight was brutal, and though many believe Bivol edged it, the judges handed a controversial decision to Beterbiev. It was Bivol's first professional loss. But champions are defined by comebacks. On February 22, 2025, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the two men met again. This time, Bivol left nothing to chance. He boxed with composure, absorbed Beterbiev's pressure, and retaliated with surgical precision. After 12 rounds, the judges awarded him a majority decision. With this victory, Dmitry Bivol became the undisputed light heavyweight champion, holding the WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO, IBO, and Ring Magazine belts. He joined the pantheon of boxing greats, one of the few men in history to unify an entire division. Legacy in the making. As of 2025, Bivol's record stands at 24 wins, 1 loss, with roughly half of his victories by knockout. He has beaten the biggest names, carried himself with dignity, and built a reputation not just as a champion, but as a master technician of the sport. House tour and car collection. Unlike fighters who flaunt mansions and sports cars, Bivol is discreet. He is known to split his time between Russia and Indio, California, where he trains. While no public tours of his home exist, it is clear he lives comfortably but not excessively. As for cars, details remain scarce. Fans speculate he drives practical, modest vehicles rather than luxury collections. This aligns with his character: disciplined, low profile, and focused on boxing, not glamour. College career. Education has always been part of Bivol's journey. He studied physical education at the Lesgaff University in St. Petersburg, where he developed a scientific understanding of sport and performance. Later, he pursued law at Kuban State Agrarian University, showing his interest in life beyond boxing. While his true legacy will always be in the ring, his commitment to academics reveals a mind as sharp as his punches. As of today, Dmitry Bivol is alive and active. There is no cause of death. He continues to reign as one of boxing's brightest stars. Dmitry Bivol's story is not one of flash and arrogance, but of quiet greatness. From his humble beginnings in Kyrgyzstan to his ascension as the undisputed light heavyweight king, his journey is defined by sacrifice, discipline, and mastery. He has beaten the unbeatable, silenced doubters, and carried himself with dignity. In an era where noise often drowns out substance, Bivol stands as a rare reminder. True greatness doesn't need to shout. It simply performs.